Alright guys, tonight for you, just real quick, I've got a kind of a special, it's a product review. I know when I do most of my videos I'll mention, whatever a product is, and I'll kind of tell you what I think, but this is just dedicated to a product review. And this particular product is 3/8 screened leaf mold compost. And I got this from Nature's Way Resources, just north of the Woodlands, Texas. I guess it's technically Conroe address, but it's just north of the Woodlands. Interrupted me like usual, but anyway, like I said, I just want to share with you guys, I learned about this place, actually. John Kohler with growingyourgreens.com, he has, does a lot of YouTube stuff. He actually took a tour of Houston, I guess, a couple weeks ago, and he was at this place and recommended it, so I'm glad I found it, because it's about probably 25 miles from my place, but it's worth it for quality. And I emphasize the quality because what you're looking at here with this compost, I mean, in my opinion, this is some of the best compost I've ever seen. For what it's worth, what I've done shopping around, looking at places like Lowe's and Home Depot, they never have anything of this, of this sort of quality. This is just really good, fine. It's, it has very little smell to it. What little bit of smell it does have just smells like composted wood, basically. But what I really like about it, the color, the consistency, I really like that it's screened down to the size that it is. I mean, you could use this for planting mix. That was a problem that I had a lot of times when I was trying to buy compost. I was trying to buy compost to use for a seedling mix, basically, and it was just full of chips and chunks of debris and sand and grit, and it wasn't good. But this stuff, from what I can tell, this is just straight, pure composted material. So, I mean, real good, rich color, like I said, good smell, good texture. I'm really excited about this stuff. I'm going to get it out in the garden just as quick as I can, fill up my raised beds. What I got, price-wise, I got a half a yard, and I want to say it was about $45, which is really not bad. I think I was buying some stuff what the local nursery was saying it was their garden soil blend, and I know I've cussed it before in prior videos. And I want to say that stuff was about $28 or $30 for a yard. And so you say, well, dang, this stuff here, it's more than twice expensive as that. But this is worth it, because that other garden soil blend that I was getting was full of sand and wood chips and chunks. And it took 2 years for that garden soil blend to compost down on its own. I mean, now that it's in my garden and it has composted down and broke down, it looks good, but it took 2 years for it to get it there. So, sometimes it's worth it just to pay the money up front, get the quality that you need now to get started. I tried to cut a lot of corners, getting my garden set up. I was out shoveling manure, and I was out trying to grind down my own leaves out of the yard, doing everything I could to try to get some organic matter to fill up my beds. And, I kept telling myself, well, I can't afford to buy that compost, can't afford it. But at the end of the day, when you take into account, again, what's your time worth? My time is worth a lot, and that's not just a personal opinion. I make pretty decent money at my day job, and so, when I compare what my time's worth, I could, I need to be able to create some real value. If I'm going to be working for something at home, I need to really be able to create some value. So, in hindsight, I should have just went and bought compost from the get-go, and that's kind of what John did. When he set up all his raised beds in his front yard, he had a whole tractor trailer load of compost just delivered, and he filled his raised beds with straight compost. And in hindsight, I should have done the same thing. Even still, it was $45. My stupid garage light went out, go figure. It was $45 for a half yard, but I think it was only like $55 or $56 for a full yard. So I mean, buying in bulk certainly pays off, especially in this case, because to buy a 1 cubic foot bag, it's a 40-pound bag, and they said it's about 1 cubic foot, was $11. So had I bought a half a yard's worth in bags, I'd have paid, I think, $143, and I got it for $40, $48, something like that. So I mean, certainly worth it to buy in bulk. Even if you don't think you're going to use it all right then, you'll find a use for it eventually. So just buy it. Get you a half yard, get you a full yard, whatever. Like I said, just want to share this with you. I'm really excited about this. This is the best compost that I have found so far, commercially made compost. It's fully organic. Check out John's video. I think it's labeled something like best organic compost in Texas or something, but definitely it's the best I've found. I agree. 100% organic. Nature's Way Resources in Conroe, Texas. They have a whole slew of all the other products that you need. They have green sand, green rock. They have Again, this is the leaf litter compost or leaf mold compost. They also have a fungal based compost, which is more for your woody materials and your perennials. They have all sorts of different garden soil blends and just everything else that you need, and it's all organic. So that's certainly a good deal. And they'll buy this. You can go in there and you can buy it retail from their facility. There's also a few places around Houston that you can buy it retail, but again, I think the places around Houston that you're going to buy retail, all they're going to have is going to be the 40-pound bags. So, you know what, those are going to cost you quite a bit. So I'd recommend going over to Conroe, getting it yourself. It's worth the trip. If you live a long way away, get a couple yards. Take a trailer and get a couple yards. Make it worth the drive. But again, yeah, real good quality stuff. Like I said, the best I've found so far. Just one more time, Nature's Way Resources in Conroe, Texas. It's all organic. And I heard about this through John Kohler. I'm going to link his video on my page as far as related videos. So if you look up in the top right of my channel, you'll see growingyourgreens.com and also Texas Prepper too. I've learned a lot from him. So, you know, if you can't find growingyourgreens.com on your own, there's certainly a link to it from my page. And I might actually even, yeah, I think I'll go ahead and put a link actually to his channel from this video, just so y'all can find it, because it is good stuff. So, like I said, just want to share bonus footage here about the quality of this compost. I wanted y'all to take a look at this soil. This is what's in my lawn. It's a you know, brown, sticky, gooey, I don't know, I guess you could say a sandy, loamy clay perhaps. I don't really know, there's a whole lot of loam in it, but pretty dense stuff, pretty dense, nasty stuff. And you compare that to, I mean, for one, if you can make a handful like that and have it just stick, I mean, you don't want that. That's too much clay. Take a handful of this compost, squeeze it as tight as you can, and it's just going to fall apart. So, I just thought this interesting. This is another blackberry plant that I've been digging up, and it's actually tipped over and sprouting in my yard, not in my raised beds, but I went ahead and dug it up, and I'm going to save it too. It's the last one.